if you're just getting back from a run and you're doing this video, awesome. Stretching is an important part after any exercise that you do. So you're gonna hinge forward at the hips here. Place your hand on your knee. Reach forward at your toe if you can, but the most important part is that you're keeping your back completely straight. So you should feel a nice stretch right underneath your hamstring and your calf. It's important to keep breathing here. We're going to hold each stretch for about 30 seconds, and then after we're going to start to rotate side to side to add the rotational component. That will intensify the stretch, but it's good because we want to get all the different fibers of the muscle. If we only ever just hold a stretch in a complete straight position, we're not going to be able to utilize the stretch to its full potential. Now push yourself up with your hands. We're going to switch legs. If this is too intense to have the flex foot, you're going to point your foot and not reach as far. You can just reach to your knee and stretch that way. Don't forget to breathe here. Keep your back nice and straight. And now rotate your legs side to side. This will intensify the stretch, but it's great, again, to get those different fibers of the hamstrings and the calf. So today we're going to be going through stretches for all the muscles that you primarily use when you're running. Now we're going to cross one leg over the knee. And ideally, we're doing all this in a sitting position to keep our sit bones nice and straight. Now use your elbow to press down your knee as best you can so that you get a comfortable enough stretch that you'd be able to hold the stretch for 5 minutes if you had to. That's the level of intensity we're going for. Keep your back straight and keep breathing. Now you're going to lean forward again with your back straight, elbows past your leg if you can, and we're going to get a different area in the glute muscle. And we're all about utilizing a single stretch in multiple different ways to target different areas of the fibers to make the most out of each stretch so you get the full 100% benefit and save time. Now slowly recover. Now we're going to twist towards the knee and use the opposite arm to pull your knee towards your chest. Keep breathing, keep your back straight. Remember, the level of intensity of the stretch should be a stretch that you'd be able to hold for 5 minutes if you had to. And slowly release, unravel, protect your knee on the way down, and switch legs. So use your knee, or your elbow to press down your knee rather. Sit up nice and straight, breathe. Sitting up straight here is the key to getting the stretch that you want. If you're slouching, you're putting your back at risk. So make sure to keep a nice straight back and tight core. Now gently lean forward with a straight back as best you can. And breathe with every exhale. The stretch is getting easier and easier. And with every exhale, your body is relaxing deeper and deeper into the stretch. And gently recover. Twist towards the knee. Grab the knee, pull it towards your chest. Back straight. Deep breaths. Good. Again, another friendly reminder, just pull the knee or just do any stretch that we're going to do here in this video today at the intensity that makes you feel comfortable. Again, protect your knee on the way down. And let's now stretch out the adductors of the leg. These are often forgotten in stretches. So you're going to hinge forward at the hips, keep your back nice and straight, and if you can, put your hands on the ground. Now this step is very low, so if you're doing this on a chair, you're only going to lean forward. You're not going to reach towards the floor, unless you were a dancer or gymnast in the past and you can do that, well, good. But otherwise, just do what you can for the stretch. Now add that rotational component. Now this can be very difficult in this range of motion. It's very good for the hips, but it will also expose any biomechanical dysfunctions that you have if you feel a slight bit of pain or if you can't do this rotation period. Just do your best, work up to it. That's all we ask. Now slowly walk up, use your knee to help lift your body, lean back and switch legs. Again, so you can hold this hinged forward position here or place your hands down as I mentioned before. Keep your knee up towards the ceiling, your toes up towards the ceiling. Do not let your knees fall forward here. We're trying to stretch the adductors, so the groin area. And again, let your leg rotate in and out. Again, this will expose any dysfunctions that you have in your hip. So just pace yourself, bear with me, and give yourself time. And gently walk up and press yourself up using your legs. Good. So now let's stretch out the calf here. So bend the front leg, step back on a straight leg, and put your heel on the floor. So you can't really see because of the trees of the branch here, but I'll just want to let you know that my heel is completely on the ground. And I'm feeling a nice stretch through the back of my calf. My toe is completely straight, it's not sticking out to the side, and then after I gently bend the knee. Bending the knee will get a deeper muscle called the soleus, which is actually more of a bigger muscle than the gastroc, which is the muscle that you see on the outside of the leg and what people know as the calf. But the soleus is even more important to stretch actually. Now let's switch legs. So bend that leg now and straighten the opposite leg. Toes forward, heel on the floor, and feel that stretch in the calf. Now gently bend. So we're not going for a big bend here. Your heel will pop off slightly, but it won't completely lift off the floor up to your toes. It's just, to say about an inch. That's it. Nothing extreme. And you'll notice the stretch will go towards your heel, maybe a little bit up on your Achilles tendon area. So we'll switch and stretch out the quad muscle. Now, if you're having a difficult time doing this motion and tucking the hips here, you can substitute by putting your foot on the step behind you, bending down, and then tucking and thrusting your hips forward, squeezing your glutes. That will help to stretch it. So you need to have a slight bend to stretch the quads. But if you can do it, then go into this position. Just make sure your knees are touching, they're together, they're kissing. Your hips are thrusted forward, your glutes are squeezed. That will give you the optimal stretch for this. If we're going to stretch, you might as well do it properly. Now slowly lower the leg, don't let it fling down, and switch sides. Make sure your knees are together, like this. Thrust your hips forward to really make sure you're utilizing your time well when you're stretching. And breathe. All right. Now let's stretch out that hip flexor. So this muscle is responsible for picking up your leg as you're running. So you want to get down on one knee and shift your hips forward as best you can. So this is the last level. This is level 3. But you can have your hands right on the floor like this. So you don't have to completely shift your hips forward like this if you can't. But the next level would be shifting up. The last level is leaning over to also stretch your obliques and to intensify the hip flexor stretch. Whatever level you're at right now, do that, hold it, and breathe. Remember, you should be able to hold whatever stretch you're doing right now for 5 minutes if you had to. Slowly recover. Use your arms to push yourself back. Now step forward to the other side. Let your hips fall towards the ground. That's step 1. This is step 2. And that's step 3. Whatever step you're at, be patient with yourself. Be proud of yourself today for even looking for this video to stretch properly after doing your run or your walk. And now gently recover. Remember to use your arms to push yourself away to protect that hip. And we're going to stretch out the calves again. You're going to hang off the edge of the step, so the balls of your feet will be right on the edge, and let your heel hang. Keep your leg straight and bend the other leg. So on this one, we're stretching the left side. To intensify the stretch even more, you can lift your leg off so that more of your body weight is putting pressure and lengthening the muscle. But if this is too intense for you, place your foot back down. Now you can also bend the leg that you're stretching to get that soleus muscle, just like we did with the other calf stretch. We're bending the leg to get the soleus on this side as well. Okay, and let's switch sides. So now the right, ball the foot on the edge of the step, let your heel fall gently, keep that leg straight. When you're ready, lift your foot off. And bend the knee. And recover. This is a little bit different here because we're also going to stretch the neck and the arms. So clasp the hands behind you. We're going to use that as a stabilization point to get an even deeper stretch in our neck. So bend your head to the left or right, doesn't matter which side because we're going to do both. And look down towards your armpit as if you're trying to smell your armpit, essentially. This will help to stretch out the upper fiber of trap muscles. Now recover and do the opposite side. So side bend first, looking straight forward, bringing your ear to your shoulder. Not forgetting to breathe. And looking down towards your armpit, imagine you're trying to smell your armpit, which is great. I'm sure you smell amazing after your run or your walk. Hold your breath if you have to, just kidding. No, keep breathing. And recover. So you're gonna start by taking a step towards the wall, your foot behind you. Take another step behind that, so that's 3. Another step behind that, that's 4. Place your foot beside, and you're going to reach forward to stretch out your chest. When you're swinging your arms forward and you're breathing heavily, sometimes your chest and your arms can get a little tight. This will help to open that up to reestablish this equilibrium. Really breathe into the stretch. Feel the stretch in the back of the legs if you do feel anything. Now we're going to take one more step behind, so toe to heel. Reach forward again. We're going to create an L. So it's a 90-degree angles at our hips right to the wall. So you want to keep your back as straight as you can. So if you cannot create a 90-degree angle because it's too intense of a stretch and your back bends, walk your hands a little further up the wall. This is a great stretch to complete a posterior chain stretch. Essentially, you're stretching and making sure your posture is good after your run so that during your run, it can be even better. I want to thank you for taking time to complete this video. It's a very good way to finish off any run or walk in the future. If you have any requests for videos for me to do in the future, please leave them in the comments below. And if you know of any other runner or walker who would benefit from this video just like you did, please share this with them. Thank you for subscribing to my channel so that you're going to be one of the first to be notified of videos I release in the future. And thank you for all your support.